second and playing in center field out of the Ohio State University, number 1, Zach Freeman. Batting third and playing at second base out of Golden West College, number 13, Dylan Lena. Batting in the cleanup spot and playing at first base out of Cal State Fullerton, number 9, Andrew Kirchner. Batting fifth and playing in right field out of Cypress College, number 28, Jack Berg. Batting in the sixth spot and playing at third base out of Cal State San Bernardino, number 38, Roberto Bueno. Batting seventh and playing in left field out of Morehouse College, number 19, Raymond Jenkins. Batting eighth tonight's designated hitter out of the University of Southern California, number 44, Deuce Robinson. Batting ninth, the battery for the Barentine, doing the catching from Compton College, number 24, Isaac Ocampo. The starting pitcher this evening for the Barons is number 25, a right-handed pitcher out of UC Irvine, number 25, Dante Zamudio. The coaching staff for the Barons, assisted by James Bishop, with Lorenzo Crane, A.J. Menares, and Jonathan Kazarian. Manager of the Barons, Kenny Landro. Director of Operations is Terry Jordan. Head athletic trainer, Steve Tubner. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Major League Baseball Academy Barons. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise and remove your hats as read in the United States of America and the men and women who proudly serve our country at home and overseas with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
Game 2 of a 5-game homestand at the MLB Youth Academy as the San Luis Obispo Blues play their third conference game of the year, and it will be against the Academy Barons down here in Compton, California. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the broadcast booth, or should I say the broadcast table here in Compton as we get you set for Game 1 against the Barons as the San Luis Obispo Blues head on out there, as well as the Academy Barons. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday in the Blues games against the Santa Barbara Foresters. So San Luis Obispo actually took to the 2-0 lead over Santa Barbara after the Foresters did that same exact thing to the Blues at Sinsheimer. So a little bit of payback from San Luis Obispo yesterday, and that one had to feel good. There was some loud cracks coming off the bat. Some moments that come to mind are the RBI triple from Max Lane in the third inning, as well as the RBI double from Parker Goff in the eighth. Some very loud barrels, and that continued today in batting practice. The vibe at this field's a little different than Santa Barbara. It is an absolute bandbox. I was watching BP from both sides, and both hitters and on both sides were just easily placing balls over the fencing. couple hitters that caught my eye for San Luis Obispo, at least. Max Lane, who will not be in tonight's lineup, but had a real solid triple in the third inning last game, and he also flew out to center against the Santa Barbara Foresters. So it was really last night for the Blues, it was all about their pitching. They only used 2 guys, one in their bullpen. The starter and John D'Amazonio went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And then the reliever and Eddie Tierney, the University of Nevada Reno Wolfpack member, went 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. And they were able to suffocate the Foresters, only letting them allow no runs. So the first shutout for the Foresters this season, as Santa Barbara now sits at 3rd in the CCL South, and now the Blues will look to jump ahead in the rankings here in Compton. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for San Luis Obispo today. Batting leadoff is the switch hitter Bradley Navarro. Batting second, it's Braden Jeffries making his Blues debut. Then it's Jariah Lewis in the 3 spot. Braden Mondu batting cleanup. Nico Button batting 5th. Brendan Comerford batting 6th. Taylor Holder in the 7 hole. Gio Blanchette batting 8th. And Sam Ardois rounding things out in the 9 hole. Now here's the defensive alignments for the Academy Barons. Behind the dish, it's Isaac Ocampo. He's making his debut for the Barons today. At first base, it's Andrew Kirshner. Second base, it's Dylan Lena. Playing third, it's Roberto Bueno. At shortstop, it's Evan Cornwell. Left field, Raymond Jenkins. And in center, Zach Freeman. And playing right for the Barons, it's Jack Burke. Tonight's starting pitcher for the Academy Barons, right-hander who has been around. He's most recently a UC Irvine Anteater, but today he is an Academy Baron. He goes by the name of Dante Zamudio, and he will face Bradley Navarro. Left-hander twitches in the box, and we are underway. First pitch is a ball taken at 6:06 p.m. So a 6:06 p.m. start for San Luis Obispo, as tonight's weather is a beautiful one here in Los Angeles, a 73-degree evening with the sun setting down. This one's popped up. Bueno moves to his right, now comes back into play and makes the snag for the first out of this ball game. So it looks like it was dancing around the air a bit. I'm taking a look at the flag down there in left field, and the wind is blowing in from left, so that certainly had something to do with what just happened there on the placement of Bueno to snag that for the first out of the inning. So now here's Braden Jeffries, the third baseman, left-handed hitter, making his debut for San Luis Obispo today in the 2-hole. There's strike 1 to Jeffries. Jeffries, a Michigan commit and a graduate of Hart High School, entering his freshman year with the Wolverines. As here he is on the 0-1. This one's hit into center field. Shallow. Freeman comes in on it. He can't get there. First at bat for Braden Jeffries, and it's a 1-out single for the Blues. Real nice piece of hitting. Not the solid contact that you would hope for. He sort of caught it off the end of the bat there, off the breaking stuff from Zamudio. Kind of threw the barrel out there, but it was just enough to nestle in front of Freeman for a base hit. So now it's Jariah Lewis, the center fielder from San Jose State, looking to get going here in the early season with San Luis Obispo. Only 2 for 10 so far this year. Does have 3 walks and 2 hit by pitches. Has a throw over to first to get Jeffries, is not in time. Has an RBI, and it came from a triple a few games ago. There's 2 stolen bags as well. And if you remember a few broadcasts ago, Jariah Lewis was up for the challenge to overtake Jake Hixenbaugh for the leader in steals. As this one's grounded to the right side, Lena's got it, flip over to second, and on to first in time for the double play. So Jariah Lewis with the 4-6-3 double play, and we'll head into the bottom of the first inning, scoreless on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom of the first here at MLB Youth Academy. As here's the starting lineup for the Academy Barons. Batting leadoff, it's Evan Cornwell. Batting second, Zach Freeman. Batting third is Dylan Lina. Cleaning things up, it's Andrew Kirshner. Batting fifth, it's Jack Burke. Sixth, it's Roberto Bueno. Seventh, it's Raymond Jenkins. Eighth, it's Deuce Robinson. And batting ninth is Isaac Ocampo, making his debut for the Barons. So it's Evan Cornwell, the shortstop, who flares this one in foul ground, and Jeffries can't get there to make the play. No balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder for the Academy Barons. And excuse me, it's actually the shortstop here, batting left-handed. And an eagle from Post University. Fastball missing upstairs for ball 1. Cornwell spent his first year of college out in Delaware as a Blue Hen. He redshirted that year in 2021. Ever since then, he transferred to Post, spent 3 years with the Eagles. 1-2, missing out of the way for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Evan Cornwell. In his most recent season with Post University, a .312 batting average, 27 runs batted in, 9 doubles and a home run. As Logan Broth comes home, this one's hard hit right to Mondu at short for the first out of the inning. Line out to the shortstop. There's one underway here for the Academy Barons. And now we're here. Let's meet the defensive alignments for San Luis Obispo. Behind the dish, it's Nico Button, Brendan Comerford at first base, Sam Ardois at second, Braden Jeffries making his debut at third, Braden Mondu at shortstop, Bradley Navarro in left, Jariah Lewis in center, and Gio Blanchette in right. And starting for the Blues this evening, Logan Groff, the Bulldog from Fresno State. As he faces Zach Freeman now, the center fielder in the red cleats and red helmet, red Evo shield, as he fouls the fastball straight back for strike 1. Freeman, a current Ohio State Buckeye, after spending 1 year at the University of San Francisco. The fastball missing upstairs for ball 1. In his first year out there in Ohio State, he appeared in 1 game, 1 hit, and it was a double. But then after that, he suffered a season-ending injury. He didn't see action on the field until the next fall. As that is taken for strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Zach Freeman. So then in his most recent year with Ohio State, he had 5 plate appearances, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, and it was a triple. Crouching in his batting stance. Here he is on the 1-2, and it just misses outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Buckeye, batting second for the Academy Barons today. He faces Logan Groff, the right-handed pitcher from Fresno State. Here's the 2-2. Fastball missing way over the head. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Freeman. Here's some more on Logan Groff for you, tonight's starting pitcher for San Luis Obispo. He's a transfer student, playing his first 2 years with the Chargers at Cypress College. In his most recent season there as a sophomore, 38 innings pitched as the half swing from Freeman is fouled right at home plate. 38 innings pitched and 41 hits with a 4.74 ERA his sophomore year. Eventually earned him a spot with the Bulldogs at Fresno State last season in a 16.2 ERA. Looking to correct that here against the Academy Barons as this one clanks off the elbow of Freeman. A hit by pitch leads to a 1-out base runner for the Barons. So after getting up in 2 strikes on Zach Freeman, and Freeman eventually filling the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes, the center fielder gets hit by the pitch and the 1-out base runner. So now it's Dylan Lina batting third and playing second base for the Barons today. He lived in the nightmares of the Blues last year, and he's back for more as he takes the curveball in the dirt for ball 1. Lina, a graduate of Golden West College just up the street here from Compton, currently uncommitted entering his junior season as a Carson native. Fastball missing upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes to Dylan Lina. Tonight's catcher, Nico Button, having a conversation with Logan Groff, trying to get that command down. There's an easy first out from Evan Cornwell. A line out right to Braden Mondu at shortstop. After that, Zach Freeman made Groff pitch 6 pitches to him and eventually hit him in the elbow with a fastball to give him first base. So now a new plan here against Dylan Lena with 2 balls and no strikes, and 1 out and a runner on first base. Groff comes home and the fastball misses inside. 3 balls in a row from Groff. And Dylan Lena, in his most recent season as a wrestler at Golden West College, went 41 for 149. That's a 275 average. As there's 4 straight balls to the cleanup hitter for the Academy Barons. 2 on, 1 out here for Logan Groff, and a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the first inning. So now Andrew Kirshner, the first baseman and redshirt sophomore from Lakewood, California, digs in here with an RBI opportunity here for his Barons. He had 1 RBI in his first season with the Rebels 2 years ago at UNLV. He redshirted last year for his sophomore campaign, and he takes the fastball upstairs for ball 1. 1 for 6, 1 RBI, and 4 strikeouts out there in Vegas in his freshman year, and then decided to take a seat last year for his sophomore season. First baseman dodges out of the way of the fastball, but it's in there for strike 1. 1-1 count to Andrew Kirshner with 1 away and 2 runners on. Kirshner was also the GAR High School 2022 Player of the Year. That was his senior season at GAR High School. 1-1 off speed in there for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andrew Kirshner, the left-handed hitting 4-hole hitter for the Barons. Navarro playing heavy off the line. Blanchette hugging it a little bit more in right field. Everyone playing deep after seeing how the ball was flying in batting practice today. Groff nods and comes set. Takes a look at second, now delivers. Taken for strike 3. There's the first K of the day from Parker Groff, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the first. So after Andrew Kirshner strikes out looking, it's Jack Burke, the right fielder, batting 5th for Academy Barons. Burke just graduated Cypress College and spent 2 years with the Chargers. In his most recent year, he was first team All-Orange Empire Conference. As Groff comes home and a swing and a miss for strike 1. Had a real nice year there last year. 11 home runs, 13 doubles, and 2 triples in his 49 hits. That beefed up his slugging to .631. 0-1. Off speed, tapped in front of home plate, and it rolls behind the third base coach for strike 2. And you guys know me, I love my slugging numbers. So when I see a guy with a lot of extra base hits like that, I'm very confident they can play at the next level adequately. And clearly the University of Houston thinks so, as he's committed to play for the Cougars next season. Here he is on the 0-2. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did, strike 3. So the Barons leave 2 runners on as Logan Groff records 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the first. We'll head to the top of the second, still scoreless, on the SLO Blues streaming network. order for the Blues here as we start off the top of the second inning. And now would be a good time to remind you that this inning is brought to you by Plan Perfect Retirement. Be sure to contact Sherry Tollerman at planperfectretirement.com. Plan Perfect Retirement, corporate retirement plan specialists. Braden Mondew, Nico Button, then Brendan Comerford up to face Zamudio. As Mondew takes a look at ball one. Braden with the orange bat swings and fouls this one into the Barons dugout for strike one. And we saw the new lumber from Mondew yesterday in game 2 against the Santa Barbara Foresters. A little new Marucci stick. Very flashy. Although a potential fashion disaster with 2 different oranges. The orange grip tape different than the burnt orange barrel. This one's popped up, out of play for strike 2. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not the fashion police. I'm here to call balls and strikes, guys. It seems to be working out for Mondew pretty well so far this season. One of the more underrated hitters in the Blues lineup, batting .345 and 29 at bats with 3 doubles and 10 RBIs. That's second on the team behind E.J. Royal. As he pops this one in the infield, Bueno calls everyone off, and he squeezes it for the first out of the inning. So Braden Mondew is retired after the soft pop out to the third baseman, Bueno. And there's one away here in the top of the second. Nico Button now, the catcher from Cal Berkeley, the left-handed hitting catcher. Who's 5 for 10 on the year with 3 RBIs and a double. And from those numbers, it's clear to see that ever since he joined the Blues just a few games ago, he's lived up to every moment he'd been put in. As this one's hit hard down the left field line and falls for a base hit. Rounding first is Button, and he will chug into second base. Here comes the throw and the slide, not in time. There's a one-out double from Nico Button right on cue as it hugged down the left field line. And Button's in there at second base. Nice piece of hitting, first pitch hunting for Nico Button, the left-handed hitting catcher. And he put some spin on that ball, left-handed bat, going down the left field line. When you're a left fielder, you're taught to play that ball like it's going to slice into foul territory. That's certainly what it did, and it bought Button some time to go into second base. Now here's Comerford, a guy known for his slugging as well, and he's a bit of a statistical anomaly this season. The first baseman batting 6th tonight is batting just under 200. He has 7 hits, but 5 of them are for extra bases. He also has 7 RBIs, which is 3rd on the team behind Mondew. First pitch is popped straight up and out of play for strike 1 to Comerford. 4 doubles and a triple for the infielder from Maloney College. As he faces Zamudio with a runner on second base. One look at second. Now kicks and fires. Off speed, swinging and missing for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Comerford, batting 6th tonight for San Luis Obispo. Last night's game, he was 0 for 4 with a strikeout and a double play. Here's the 0-2. Off speed, held up his swing for ball 1. And as a hitter, when you're down no balls and 2 strikes and you see that off speed floating above the zone, it's very enticing to go after, but Comerford did a good job holding up his swing and staying alive in this at-bat. Short lead from Button over at second base as he creeps towards third. Here's the pitch. This one's nubbed on the left side. Cornwell's got it. Throw over to first is in time to retire Comerford as Nico Button stays at second base. 2 outs here for the Blues with a runner in scoring position and Taylor Holder coming up for San Luis Obispo. And Holder's had his struggles this season. We're waiting for him to break into stride like we know he can. And the lethal season we saw him out there in Reno. And 166 at-bats. He notched together a .600 slugging. That's legit. That's a hefty sample size as the off-speed's taken for ball one. A 307 average, 36 runs batted in on 51 hits. But the issues for him come from the strikeouts. 45 Ks in that time compared to his 18 walks. He's got 7 so far on the Blues this year. That's second in the team, behind E.J. Royal, who also leads in at-bats. As this off-speed's popped up and out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike to the outfielder from Reno, Nevada. Not born and raised there in Nevada. He was born and raised in Corvallis, Oregon. And he actually spent his first 2 years of college in the rival town of Eugene with the Oregon Ducks. And eventually transferred with the Wolfpack his junior season, where he's been ever since. 1-1 hit on the left side, and it goes through the glove of Bueno at third base. Regalado is waving around Nico Button. He comes into home. The throw skips in front of the chest of Ocampo. And there's an RBI single for Taylor Holder. That had to feel good. So the Blues strike first here in a 1-0 ball game after the RBI single from Taylor Holder, who advanced to second on the throw.
The right fielder for the Blues, number 2, Giovanni Blanchett.
So now Blanchett, who has the only home run for the Blues this season, digs in now. Right fielder batting in the 8th spot tonight. This one's chopped on the left side. Moving to his right is Cornwell. Here's a throw on his back foot in time as Kirshner picks it over there at first base. The Blues strike first on an RBI single from Taylor Holder. It's 1-0 San Luis Obispo heading into the bottom of the second inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Blues here in the bottom of the second inning. 6-7-8 due up for the Academy Barons as Logan Groff heads out there for his second inning of work and misses upstairs on the fastball. Ball 1 to Roberto Bueno. Blues got the first run of this game off an RBI single from Taylor Holder last inning. Brought around Nico Button. This one's popped straight up. Fighting the sun is Ardois at second base, and he squeezes it for the first out of the inning. 2 pitches, 1 out here for Logan Groff, as now Raymond Jenkins, the left fielder batting 7th, digs in for the Barons. Jenkins, an outfielder from Lakewood, California, entering his sophomore season at Barstow Community College. This season for the Barons, he has 7 at-bats, 3 hits in that time, and he looks at the fastball for strike 1. 3 Ks and 2 runs scored, and he's certainly got the tools to play at the next level with a 99 outfield velocity and a 6.51 60-yard dash, as he can't hold up on his swing for the breaker for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Raymond Jenkins. in his first season as a Viking at Barstow Community College. A .313 batting average, 40 hits and 128 at-bats. 15 runs batted in as the breaking ball misses downstairs for ball one from Logan Groff. Also an on-base percentage of .371 and a slugging of .406. Right-hander with his black and yellow batting gloves awaits Logan Groff's 1-2 offering. Here it comes. Off speed, skipping the dirt. Good block from Nico Button. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Academy Barons ranked second in the CCL South, just behind Arroyo Seco, who's a perfect 3-0 so far this season. As Groff's red glove comes home, and the fastball missing upstairs. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And just behind the Academy Barons, the Santa Barbara Foresters. After that loss yesterday to San Luis Obispo, they remain in the 3 spot, but they're above Ventura County, Conejo, San Diego, and Orange County, who's had some early season woes. And there's a walk to Raymond Jenkins after Logan Groff got up 0-2 on him. 4 straight balls to the left fielder, batting 7th. So now it's Deuce Robinson, the DH from USC, digging in with 1 out and a runner at first base. And Deuce Robinson, to many people's surprises, I would venture to say, batting in the 8 spot tonight, as this kid, very talented. First pitch, fastball missing upstairs to Groff. He seems to be missing there so far this inning. 1 ball and no strikes. Multi-sport athlete at USC with the Trojans, a football and a baseball player. Had 2 touchdowns for USC off 16 receptions, playing in 11 games. Fastball in there for strike 1. Saw a little more action with the football team than he did playing baseball, though. In his first season with the Trojans, he was 1 for 6, and that 1 hit was a double. He eventually came around to score. This is all coming in 2 starts. Throw over to first, not in time to get Jenkins. Robinson was also the number 1 ranked outfielder and number 4 overall prospect in Arizona, as well as the 30th ranked outfielder in the nation, according to Perfect Game. Here he is on the 1-1. That fastball's in there for strike 2. All 6'5" of Deuce Robinson hanging in there with his matte red helmet and his shiny red bat, decked out in USC swag. As here he is with 1 ball and 2 strikes, and he fishes at the breaking ball for strike 3. Snapback throw to first is not in time, but Deuce Robinson strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning. Real nice sequencing there from Logan Groff to go down and away with that slider. It started low in the zone, and then it completely broke out of it. And Deuce Robinson went after it for strike 3. So now it's Isaac Ocampo. He fouls this one straight back for strike 1 against Logan Groff. Ocampo's doing the catching for the Academy Barons tonight, and he's making his debut with them as well. Native of Anaheim, California, and a graduate of Servite High School. The catcher, 3rd baseman, will become a Tartar next year right on this very campus at Compton College. Throw to first, and there in time is Jenkins. 2 outs, one runner on, bottom of the 2nd. SLO Blues lead 1-0 over the Academy Barons. Groff shrugs, holds, now comes home. Missing in the dirt and keeping it in front is Button. Here's the throw down to 2nd as stutter stepping into 2nd base is Raymond Jenkins with a stolen base. Button did a good job of not letting that ball get to the backstop, but he just couldn't corral it as he was trying to pick it up from the dirt behind home plate, and that gave Raymond Jenkins some time to stutter into 2nd with a stolen base. So now a runner in scoring position for the Academy Barons, the 2nd time they've had that today, as they trail 1-0 to the Blues. 1-1, missing upstairs for ball 2. The Barons have been able to get 2 runners in scoring position in 2 innings, despite not having any hits so far. Groff comes home, half swing fouled, just over the bleachers on the netting. Strike two. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Isaac Ocampo. He's got a runner in scoring position as they trail by 1 to the Blues. Here's the 2-2 from Groff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Barons strand a runner at second base as Groff collects his 4th strikeout of the day. It's 1-0 Blues heading into the top of the 3rd inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Dante Zamudio heads back out there for his 3rd inning of work in the top of the 3rd as the Blues lead the Academy Barons 1-0. And leading things off, it's Sam Ardois, the second baseman for San Luis Obispo. And Ardois, a former Texas Longhorn, and I'd like to apologize as I gave incorrect information in yesterday's game. I said he was heading to the University of Oregon, but that is actually incorrect. Here's the first pitch to him, shows bunt, and it's taken for strike 1. We got lost in translation there, I guess, as Ardois is actually going to the University of Louisiana Lafayette to become a Ragin' Cajun. Be coming back home to his native state of Louisiana as a Moss Bluff native as the breaking ball is taken for ball 1. So he will attend the University of Louisiana after 1 season in Austin, Texas, with the Longhorns, where he went 0 for 4 and had 2 walks and 2 runs batted in. 1-1 pulled in the dirt for ball 2. Ardois in the season so far is 4 for 12, 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Had a double yesterday against the against the Santa Barbara Foresters. 2-1, bounce passer Wade in front of home plate for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to the Louisiana infielder. Zamudio squats. Now it comes set. Here he is on the 3-1. Fastball missing at the eyes of Ardois, and there's ball 4. Leadoff base runner for the Blues as we'll flip it to the top of the order in Bradley Navarro. Navarro, in his first time up, he popped out to Bueno at third base. And a play where the ball was moving around in the air a bit. The wind is flowing here in Compton, almost reminding you of San Luis Obispo. As the first pitch is taken for strike 1. This is Navarro's second start of the year for the Blues. And he's the only other batter to hit leadoff besides E.J. Royal. Let me jog your memory back to when Gavin Constantine started at the leadoff spot with the Blues against the Santa Maria Indians back on June 9th. As the throw over to first is not in time, and slow to get up is Ardois with the oven mitt on his right hand. Other than that, it's been E.J. Royal batting first for the Blues. He's primarily done so this season. He's been a mainstay at that spot. And now they're switching it up here with Dean Trainer's Blues as Navarro fists this one in the infield. Lena calls everyone off, and there's a second out of the inning, second pop out of the day for Bradley Navarro. So one out here, and it's Braden Jeffries, who is making his Blues debut today, over there at third base. And he started off his career with the SLO Blues hot with a single in the first inning and the first pitch he saw. Jeffries, like Navarro, a Michigan Wolverine, as he looks at strike one. Just missing up in the zone is Dante Zamudio. He's been wanting to get that call so far this game, and he finally gets it here against Jeffries. Jeffries, a graduate of Hart High School, just up the street here from Compton. As the 0-1's dribbled on the right side, Lena's got it. He'll flip over to second. Throw to first is high and offline, just enough for Braden Jeffries to reach safely. So fielder's choice from Jeffries as Ardois is retired at second base. And there's two away here now for Jariah Lewis with a runner on first. Lewis, although he scorched that 100-mile triple in the right center gap a few games ago at Sinsheimer, that's one of his two hits he's had this season. 2 for 10 is the left-handed hitting outfielder from San Jose State. He does have 3 walks and 2 hit by pitches, as well as 2 stolen bases, as the throw to first is not in time. And I mentioned it earlier, but we had to move on to the next batter. But Lewis seems to be in competition with Jake Hicksonbaugh for overtaking the leader in stolen bases, as Lewis led the Blues last year with 15. He swings and taps this one into the on-deck circle for strike one. So Hicksonbaugh right now has 11 stolen bases, and as I said, Lewis finished with 15 last year for the Blues. 9 more to go to tie the record of Jake Hicksonbaugh, who's seen a decrease in playing time as of late. This one's hit up the middle, and Lena can't get there. It's a base hit. Rounding second is Jeffries, and he heads into third, and he will stop right there as Jariah Lewis takes second base on the throw, and a single. Jariah Lewis keeps this inning alive, and he moves Braden Jeffries over to third base. They tried to gun down the Wolverine over there, and Jariah Lewis saw that as a perfect opportunity to swipe second. So now it's Braden Mondew with 10 RBIs. That's the second on the team, and one of the top 2 guys you would like in this position. 2 outs, runners on second and third. SLO Blues with a 1-0 lead over the Academy Barons. As Mondew digs in, last time he was up, he popped out to third. The fastball missing in the dirt for ball 1. Mondew is hitting .345 this season in 29 at-bats. Heading into this game, a shortstop in the transfer portal with 2 runners on. Zamudio kicks and fires on the 1-0. Fastball in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mondew, who surveys his orange stick and practice swing and now digs in. Zamudio nods, hitches into coming set, now comes home off speed, and holding up on the swing is Mondew for ball 2. 2-1 to Braden. The other Braden in this lineup. I'd like to point out that the Blues have a Braden, another Braden spelled differently, and a Brendan. Just something to chew on. Look over to third. Now coming home is Zamudio, and the fastball missing outside for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to Braden Mondew. Lots of patience here in this at-bat, and has worked himself into a hitter's count here. 3 balls and 1 strike. Wanted to get one he loves and drive it somewhere in the gap. Down the left field line is pretty wide open. If I'm a right-handed hitter, I'm looking at that. Swings and misses, and the bat goes flying out of his hands. Mondu loses the new stick as it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. He doesn't even do the spray pine tar. Typically, when you see the bat flying off, you eventually see the batter apply extra pine tar, whether it's the spray or the tiger stick. And he's just going right back to it as he shows a little bit of teeth before digging into the batter's box. As Max Lane, the infielder for the Blues, who has the night off tonight, goes to retrieve the ball, or the bat. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mondu, and there's strike 3 called. Fastball clipping the outside corner, and the Blues strand him with runners on second and third. It's still 1-0 Blues heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. 1-2-3 for the Academy Barons. Evan Cornwell, Zach Freeman, and Dylan Lina leading things off. For the Barons here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, SLO Blues left 2 runners on after Braden Jeffries reached on a fielder's choice, and Jariah Lewis brought him over to the 3rd. There's runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Blues as this one's chopped on the right side. Comerford leaves it for Ardois as the throw is offline, and a leadoff base runner for Evan Cornwell. Infield hit for the shortstop from Post University as he was first pitch swinging and hit a routine chopper to the right side. Bit of a miscommunication over there from Ardois and Comerford. As now digging in is Zach Freeman, the center fielder and left-handed hitter who was hit by pitch and stranded at second base last time he was up in the 1st inning. First pitch fastball, missing outside for ball 1. So that was the first hit of the day for the Academy Barons, an infield chopper off a miscommunication from Comerford and Ardois. Here's the 1-0 from Groff, is taken off for second is Cornwell, and here's the throw from Button, skipping into Mondu, and it's not in time. There's a stolen base for Evan Cornwell. Runner in scoring position for the Academy Barons, and Zach Freeman, who's in a 1-1 count to Logan Groff. Both teams have struggled early within the first 3 frames of this game to bring in the runners in scoring position. The Barons have left 3 so far. The Blues have left 4. And there's one here as this one skied in the right field. Blanchette battling the sun. Calls off the center fielder Lewis. He's got it, and the fake break towards second is Cornwell for the first out of the inning. And a nice job from Blanchette on corralling the sun and try to work around the shadows as well, because that's another issue too. When you're feeling a ball out there in the outfield, the sun can be bad, and it just completely blinds you in the face to where you can't see the ball. But the shadows can mess you up just as much, and Blanchette did a great job of navigating both of those things and squeezing it for the first out of the inning. So it's Dylan Lena. He walked last time he was up, the second base runner the Barons had today. And he's first pitch swinging on this one as he fouls it out of play. Lena is uncommitted after spending 2 years at Golden West College. In his sophomore year with the Rustlers, he had 31 runs batted in off 41 hits. And so far this summer, he's 6 for 14 with 2 RBIs. Here he is on the 0-1, and it skips in front of Nico Button, and that holds up Evan Cornwell at second base. There's a lot of catchers on this team, more than you're typically used to seeing, as Ardois talks to Groff on the pitcher's mound briefly, and now Nico Button will join him. But Button has made a pretty nice case for himself early on in the season, and he continued to do so today, being a solid backstop today for Logan Groff, and had that double in the second inning where he eventually came around to score. He's now 6 for 11 on the year with the Blues. Here's the 1-1 to Lena. Fastball is hit hard up the middle. Ardois is there. He bats it down. The throw over to first is in time to retire him. But moving over to third base is Evan Cornwell. That ball was scorched off the bat of Dylan Lena, and Ardois did a great job of just going down to one knee and putting the chest over the ball. And if it hits you in the face, it hits you in the face, but it didn't this time. But that's exactly what your coach do, kids out there watching at home, is to body up the baseball. And that gave Ardois a chance to retire the runner over at first base. So the grounder over at second, and there's 2 away with a runner at third for Andrew Kirshner, who struck out looking last time he was up in the first inning. Flares this one to left field. Moving to his right is Navarro, and he's got it. So Logan Groff strands another runner at third base, and we will head into the top of the fourth, 1-0 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top 4 SLO Blues lead 1-0 over the Academy Barons, and now it would be a good time to remind you that this half inning is brought to you by Apex Technical Sales. You can find them at glenair-apex.com. Apex Technical Sales, we are here to make you successful. So Logan Groff was able to strand another runner in scoring position for the Academy Barons, as it's still 1-0 Blues. That's the 4th runner the Barons have left on base. They now tie the Blues for that same statistic so far in this game. As this one's hard hit into left center field, that falls for a base hit. Nico Button's second knock of the day as he rounds first with a leadoff single. Let me tell you, the kid is just seeing the ball so well right now. He's putting some real nice swings on it from the left-handed batter's box. Loud contact every time, too. I think that's an important detail for Nico Button. He's not getting soft hits that leak into the outfield or squeak past the infielders. He's putting solid barrels on balls. And that's just coming. You can just look at the stats right there. As Comerford takes a look at the breaking ball for strike one. Comerford, last time he was up, he grounded to short for the second out of the second inning. Fastball missing in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strikes from Dante Zamudio. A right-handed pitcher heads back out there for his 4th inning. Zamudio, if he were to record it out here, would surpass the last start that he had over the San Diego Sunrays, as Comerford hits this one off the end in the air down the left field line, and ranging to his right is Cornwell to snag it for the first out of the inning. That was a lot of ground that Cornwell had to cover. As Bueno was down the line, Jenkins was down the line. It's probably a ball that Jenkins should have. Cornwell had to cover the most amount of real estate, and he was able to do so with the backhanded grab on the pop-up. So 1 out here. Comerford is retired for the 2nd time today. And Taylor Holder, who had an RBI single in the 2nd inning, brought across the first Blues run of the day, digs in now for his 2nd time with a runner on first base, and Nico Button. Holder fouls this one straight back for strike 1. So 1 out, 1 runner on. Blues up 1-0 over the Academy Barons. They'd like to get that run across home in Nico Button after the leadoff single in the left center gap. Here's the 0-1 to Holder, and he swings and misses at the breaking ball for strike 2. And we alluded to it a little earlier. The strikeouts are what he struggled with at the University of Nevada, and that's trickling over into his season with the Blues, although it's stained him a little more. 2nd on the team in strikeouts with 7. As he's here on the 0-2. Breaking ball buckles him for strike 3. Taylor Holder gets caught looking, and there's now 2 away with Nico Button still at first base. 1 for 2 on the day now is the DH from Reno, and now the 8-hole hitter in Giovanni Blanchette digs in for San Luis Obispo. Blanchette grounded to short last time he was up. Snapback throw to first, not in time to get Nico Button. The outfielder from Fresno City College is 5 for 12 on the year with 3 RBIs and the only home run this season for the Blues. And with a park like this today and the way the ball has been flying, can't help but think but others are going to be following suit this evening in Compton. This one hit into the air in right field. Burke comes in on it, tracks it, and grabs it for the 3rd out of the inning. So Nico Button gets stranded at first base. That's the 5th runner stranded for the Blues today. It's still 1-0 Blues heading into the bottom of the 5th inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher in for the Blues, it's Marco Cipolla. Logan Groff's day is done after he goes 3 innings, no hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Holding it down is the starter for the Blues today as he heads off the field, and Mark Cipolla steps in, the right-hander from University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, and now in the transfer portal as a native from Independence, Minnesota. He's entering his junior season after pitching in 12 games for Colorado Springs this past season, as he gets up on Jack Burke for strike 1. Started in 9 games, and he threw in 48 innings in his freshman season and threw 2 complete games in that year as well. 0-1 by him for strike 2. Jack Burke, last time he was up, struck out swinging to end the first inning. And now he's down 0-2 here to the new pitcher in Marco Cipolla. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball missing just outside for ball 1. From the windup, Cipolla shakes, now nods. Facing his glove. Here he comes on the 1-2. Pops straight up. Coming in on it is the catcher Button, and he grabs it for the first out of the inning. So in the 1-2 count, Cipolla gets the pop out from Jack Burke, some weak contact, and there's the first out of the inning. So now it's Roberto Bueno. Seen a lot of action there at third base today. Batting 6th for the Barons. He popped out the second last time he was up and takes a look at the fastball for strike 1. Bueno, a Coyote from CSU San Bernardino, after spending a year at LA Harbor and a year right here at Compton College. Here's the 0-1. Off speed. Did he go? No, he did not. And there's ball 1 to him. So far this season, he's 1 for 7. 1 strikeout, 1 hit by pitch, 1 RBI, 1 run scored. Still early here for the Barons. 4 games played so far, all of them in CCL action. Skips that breaking ball in the dirt for ball 2. In his first year as a Coyote last year at San Bernardino, he played in 11 games, had 18 at-bats, 4 hits in that time, one of them a double, and brought across home 4 runs. 3-1 is chopped foul down the third base line. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Roberto Bueno. Cipolla nods. Now comes home on the 2-2. Missing downstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Marco Cipolla. Over to Roberto Bueno. Jack Burke was the first batter to be retired this inning. A pop out to the catcher and Nico Button with 2 strikes. But now it's the third baseman Bueno here on the 3-2 pitch. Fastball just missing downstairs for the walk. So 1 out base runner here for the Academy Barons as Roberto Bueno worked himself into a nice at-bat there and draw the walk from Marco Cipolla. That's the first base runner he's allowed in his appearance after relieving Logan Groff here in this inning. So now it's Raymond Jenkins. He walked himself back in the second, eventually stole second base off a nice dirt ball read from Logan Groff, and Nico Button couldn't retrieve it in time. Jenkins looks at the fastball, low and away for ball 1. A Viking of Barstow Community College who batted .313 last season with a .371 on base and a .406 slugging. From the stretch, here's Cipolla coming home. Weak contact popped up and out of play. Strike 1 to the left fielder. And if Jenkins gets some soft contact in the infield, he has the ability to beat out that ground ball. The Blues are going to have to be able to play some solid defense. That's been a struggle for them this season with that 6'5", 160-yard dash from Jenkins. 1-1, swung on and missed for strike 2. Marco Cipolla's got Raymond Jenkins in a 1-2 count here with 1 away. And the Barons are still searching for their first hit, and there's a scoring correction from Evan Cornwall back in the 3rd inning. That infield hit is actually an error on the second base Ardois. So Barron's still looking for hit number 1 as this one's hit on the right side to Ardois. He'll go to second for 1, and Mondu can't come up with it. Mondu botches the flip over to second from Ardois, and now there's 2 runners on off the error from Mondu at second base. And now for the Blues, their next step here is to not have those errors bite them in the rear end as they've done so this season. It's been a serious problem for San Luis Obispo, letting up the free passes with the mistakes on defense. As there's 2 runners on for Deuce Robinson, who went fishing after that breaking ball for strike 1. Deuce, the DH, batting in the 8-hole tonight. Struck out swinging last time he was up in the second inning. A wide receiver and an outfielder for the USC Trojans. Here's the 0-1 from Cipolla as he double takes at second base, now comes home, and the fastball at the feet of Nico Button. Everyone stays at their stations for ball 1. Deuce, a highly touted prospect from Arizona, the number 1 ranked outfielder and 4th overall player in the state in his senior year of high school. He's also the 3rd athlete to ever be named Under Armour All-American in both baseball and football. Can you guys guess who the 2 athletes are besides Deuce Robinson? 1-1. Huge swing and a miss for strike 2. 90 miles an hour from the fastball from Marco Cipolla. And now down 1 ball and 2 strikes is Deuce Robinson. A wild swing from that wiry frame to go down in the count against the UC Colorado Spring Cougar. Cipolla, long look at second base. There's a quick one now. 1-2 to him. Taken for strike 3. There's the first K from Marco Cipolla and the second strikeout from Deuce Robinson this evening, as there's now 2 away with runners on first and second for the Academy Barons. So Isaac Ocampo, he struck out swinging himself back in the second inning. That ended the inning in his Barons debut. And the catcher steps up here, trailing 1 to the Blues, and Marco Cipolla on the mound. First pitch, popped up in the air. Coming in on it is Lewis, but Mondu calls everyone off, and late in the game, it's Navarro coming up with the grab. The Barons strand 2 more on no hits, 1 error, and no runs scored for the Academy. It's 1-0 Blues heading into the top of the 5th inning. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Leading off for the inning for the second time this evening, it's Sam Ardois, the 9-hitter for the SLO Blues, as his team is up 1-0 over the Academy Barons in what has been a pitcher's duel so far tonight at the Youth Academy. This game has been awfully similar to what we saw yesterday against the Santa Barbara Foresters, actually identical. First pitch off speed, in there for strike one. And it's identical in that first inning, scoreless. The Blues put up 1 run in the top of the second inning, and then goose eggs up to the 4th. Stay tuned to see if the trend stays the same. Off speed, missing upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sam Ardois, the new Ragin' Cajun. Lafayette, Louisiana, his home state, where he was ranked the number 2 shortstop in the state in high school. That fastball missing outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Ardois. Ardois 4 for 12 heading into this game for the Blues with 2 doubles, one of them coming yesterday. 2-1 spoiled behind home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Louisiana shortstop. Ardois was also first-team All-District player in high school and was invited to participate in the Future Stars Underclass Elite Event. 2-2 is popped up and out of play. Remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then he eventually played in the Future Stars main event. Former Longhorn, current Blue, future Cajun. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Checks his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3 swinging is Sam Ardois for the first out of the 5th inning for the Blues. So after the 3rd K from Dante Zamudio, we'll now flip it to the top of the order to Bradley Navarro, left fielder from Michigan. And fans, I think now would be a good time to remind you that Richardson is the official hat of the CCL. Both of the teams in tonight's contest are wearing Richardson branded hats. They supply all the bills for the teams in the California Collegiate League. To the right side, Liña's got it. Throw over to first in time to retire Bradley Navarro. 1 pitch, out number 2 for Zamudio. So quickly, 2 outs now are the SLO Blues, as now Braden Jeffries digs in for the 3rd time today. Jeffries a single in the 1st inning, and the first pitch he saw as a Blue, and then reached on fielder's choice in the 3rd inning and was eventually stranded at 3rd base. First pitch fouled up, out of play, strike 1. Jeffries, a future Michigan Wolverine after graduating from Hart High School. He will be joining his current teammate, Bradley Navarro, as well as Jun Sung Park, who's an infielder for the Blues and Michigan Wolverine as well, as he rolls out of the way of that fastball for ball 1. Zamudio so far in 4 2/3 innings has let up 4 hits and 1 run, 3 strikeouts with 1 walk. Pretty solid night for the right-hander and former UC Irvine anteater. 1-1, just tap foul. Almost got a barrel on that one is Jeffries. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can tell he barely missed that fastball. And the upper part of the zone, that grimace on his face says it all. Hands close to his left armpit as he rolls out the way of the off speed, and he takes it for ball 2. Jeffries jitters in the batter's box, and he sends this one to right field, hit very well. Burke is going back, he looks up, it's gone! Room service. Can I have a Jeffries bomb? Here in the top of the 5th inning, Braden Jeffries jumped ship off the 94-mile-an-hour home run. Absolutely crushed to right field, and a very sweet left-handed swing as well from the future Wolverine. Bit of a spark here for the Blues offense as Jariah Lewis, who led the team in home runs last year, steps up for San Luis Obispo. Checks a swing and fouls it straight back for strike one. The ball was absolutely demolished from Jeffries. He turned around that 83-mile-an-hour fastball and turned it into 94 into the parking lot. Lewis on the 0-1 takes all the way on the breaking ball, missing upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one to the San Jose State outfielder. Here it is, and fastball missing outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jariah Lewis. Lewis heading into this game is 2 for 10 and an RBI with a triple and 2 stolen bases. 2-1 and missing outside again is Zamudio for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jariah Lewis following the Braden Jeffries homer. Here it comes. Pops it straight up, ranging to his right is Bueno, tracking it and squeezing it for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Blues get another insurance run off the Braden Jeffries homer. He's having himself a day in his Blue debut. It's 2-0 San Luis Obispo on the SLO Blues streaming network. Marco Cipolla heads back out there for his 2nd inning of work after the Blues tacked on an insurance run from the Braden Jeffries home run with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Thing was absolutely blasted out to right field, a 380-foot bomb coming off the bat at 94 miles an hour. The former Michigan Wolverine makes the round tripper for the 2-0 lead for the Blues. Cipolla, nice breaker in there for strike 2 against the leadoff batter, Evan Cornwell. Cornwell reached on error in the 3rd inning and stole a bag, and he lined out to the shortstop Mondu in the 1st inning, an 0-for-2 day. Fastball by him for strike 3. There's the 2nd strikeout of the day for Marco Cipolla, and the 1st out of the inning for the Blues. Zach Freeman up now, his 2nd AB of the day. Flew out, or I should say, 2nd plate appearance. AB of the day. Sorry about that. There a fly out to right field and a hit by pitch in the 1st. He was stranded at 2nd base. Bender taken for ball 1 against Marco Cipolla. Zach Freeman, the center fielder and current Ohio State Buckeye. In for the Barons, batting second. 1-0, fastball in there for a strike. Real nice placement, clipping the inside part of the zone from Marco Cipolla. And he's done a real good job in his short outing so far in the inning and a third pitched, sequencing his pitches. He's clipping the fastball where he wants it in the inner half of the zone and the lower part of the zone, as that breaker is in there for strike two. And right on cue, he hits that breaking ball right where he wants it, starting just around the top half of the zone. It breaks right in the middle. Real tough pitch to hit. 1 ball and 2 strikes from the windup. This one's chopped on the right side. Artois got it. Easy play over to first at Comerford, and he retires Zach Freeman on the grounder to second base. 2 outs here now after Evan Cornwell and Zach Freeman are retired. It's Dylan Lina, who walked in the first inning and grounded to second in the third. Lina, a uncommitted third baseman from Golden West and a native of Carson, California. First pitch swinging on the off speed for strike one. This summer, entering this game, he was 6 for 14 with 2 RBIs, 2 hit by pitches, 2 walks, and a strikeout. 0-1, another off speed from Cipolla, this time taken for ball 1. 2 outs, no one on for the Academy Barons, as they trail 2-0 to the Blues here in the bottom of the 5th inning. From the windup, here comes Cipolla. Fastball just missing outside for ball 2. And Cipolla, like I said, not missing by much. Seems to be hitting fastballs in the zone where he wants to. Same thing goes for that curveball. On the 2-1, there's another fastball from him at 92 miles per hour, but that misses downstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike to Dylan Lina. Lina, with his frizzy hair busting out the back of his helmet on the 3-1, swings and sends this one in the air, but out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes as the wind out in right field begins to pick up. It initially started in this game as the wind coming in from left, but it has since shifted to blowing out in right. Here's the payoff pitch from Cipolla. Popped up and out of play. Staying alive with 2 strikes is Dylan Lina with 2 away. Cipolla marches back to the mound after receiving a new pearl from his catcher, Nico Button, and he licks his lips and now straddles the rubber. Lina, with his elbows flared, awaits the 3-2 offering. Here it comes. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. There's the 3rd strikeout of the evening for Marco Cipolla, and he doesn't even allow a base runner here in the 5th inning. We go to the top of the 6th, 2-0 Blues. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. top of the 6th here at the MLB Youth Academy in Compton, California. As the sun begins to set here on the field and the middle of the order is due up for the SLO Blues, they lead the Academy Barons 2-0 here in Game 3 of the Blues season of CCL action. Braden Mondew leads things off here in the 6th, and he sends this one into shallow right center field. That one will drop for a base hit. Braden Mondew with a bloop single and a leadoff base runner for the Blues to start things here in the top of the 6th inning. Mondew just clipped the end of it from his bat, which was retrieved a few innings ago after sending it over the Barons dugout on the swing and a miss for strike 2. And his strikeout against Zamudio, who heads back out there for his 6th inning of work. And he comes set against Nico Button, who is on fire right now. First pitch swinging, and he bloops this one in the air. Moving to his right is Cornwell, and Button is retired for the first time today. So a pop out to the shortstop in Evan Cornwell after Button went double single in the 2nd and 4th inning. Now that gives way to Brendan Comerford, who is in search for his first base hit today. And as I said before, Comerford, a bit of a statistical anomaly, if you will, entering this game, batting just south of 200. But he has 7 hits, 5 of them are for extra bases. As he holds up his swing on the first pitch offering in the dirt for ball 1. 5 of his 7 hits are for extra bases. And he brought home 7 runs, which is the 3rd most on the team. Just goes to show you that average isn't everything in the new world of baseball analytics. 1-0, and he hits this one hard to left field. Going back on it is Jenkins, and that one hits off the wall. Coming around third base is Mondew, and he's coming into home to score from an RBI double from Brendan Comerford. 101 miles per hour off the bat. This one was smoked off the play ball scripture on the blue padded fence and left. And he gets to hacking right on cue, talking about the extra bases here. He adds on to his list of doubles. He now has 5 on the year, so make that 6 extra base hits in 8 hits. So an RBI double from Comerford with 1 away brings home Braden Mondew. It's now a 3-0 lead for the Blues. And now it's Taylor Holder who pops this one up on the first pitch. Coming in on it is Jenkins. Long hang time as he snow cones that one for out number 2. Jenkins trying to catch that one on the run. He was moving heel toe, ranging for that ball, and I think that disrupted the stillness of his left arm to corral that baseball, and almost popped out of his glove. But by the grace of the stitching at the end of his mitt, he was able to squeeze it for the 2nd out of the inning. So now it's Giovanni Blanchette. Formerly had the only home run of the Blues this season. That was since taken from Braden Navarro, as he just hit one this past inning to give the Blues an extra insurance run and a 2-0 lead. Comerford since added to that with an RBI double earlier this inning. Now it's Blanchette. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded to short and a fly out to right field. Zamudio takes his time coming set. And here he is on the 1-0 to Blanchette. Off speed, in there for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to the right fielder from Fresno City College and 3rd-year Blue. Methodically coming set is Zamudio, and he misses upstairs with the fastball, gets away from Ocampo. But staying at second base is Brendan Comerford after his RBI double. Blanchette played in 11 games for Fresno City College last season. He's currently uncommitted after spending his first fall of freshman year at St. Mary's and left after a coaching change. 2-1 swinging for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Giovanni Blanchette, who's 5 for 12 heading into this game with 3 RBIs and 2 walks. Two balls, 2 strikes. Runner on second with 2 outs. Blanchette looks at the fastball in the dirt for ball 3. Now full count to Giovanni. And this is a bit of a reunion here for Blanchette, as he was one of the 2 players to represent the SLO Blues on the South team in the CCL Showcase at this very stadium last year. And now he returns with a runner at second base and a full count, and he sends this one to left field, hit very hard. Jenkins can watch it fly. A 2-run homer for Giovanni Blanchette, his 2nd of the year. SLO Blues now lead this ball game 5-0 as Blanchette smoked this one 100 miles an hour into the parking lot at Compton College. The boys are playing some ball, folks. Up 5-0 over the Academy Barons off the swing from Giovanni Blanchette. So more life here in this inning as Sam Ardois steps up with 2 outs and a 5-0 lead. And the first pitch is taken for strike 1. Ardois is currently 0 for 1 today. He struck out swinging last time he was up in the 5th. He led off that inning. And the at-bat before, he walked and then out at second base on the fielder's choice. Looks at that ball. It skips in the dirt for ball 1. The Ragin' Cajun twitches in the batter's box with his birch bat over his neck as the off-speed misses upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ardois. Entering this game, 4 of 12, 2 doubles. Had one yesterday against the Foresters. That brought across a run in their 2-0 victory over Santa Barbara. 2-1, fastball in there for strike 2. 2-2 to the former Texas shortstop with 2 away here. 5-0 lead for San Luis Obispo. And Zamudio still out there. And a pitcher's getting hot in the Barons bullpen. He swings and misses at that one for the 2nd strikeout of the day. But the damage has been done. A 2-run home run for Gio Blanchette. And the Blues are now up 5-0 over the Academy Barons. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. Marco Cipolla heads back out there after the Blues had an explosive 6th inning from the 3-run home run by Giovanni Blanchette. That's his 2nd homer of the year. And it gives the Blues some extra insurance as up 0-1 against the first baseman Andrew Kirshner is Marco Cipolla. From the windup, here comes the University of Colorado Spring Cougar as fouling it straight back is Kirshner for strike 2. For the 2nd day in a row, the Blues pitching has been very efficient against the opposition. Dean Traynor having to go to his bullpen back in the 4th inning as this one's filleted into left. Mondu bobbles it, throw over to first is not in time. Still awaiting the diagnosis on if it was a hit. And there goes the no-hitter, folks. An infield base hit from Andrew Kirshner off the bobble from Braden Mondew. The chances weren't high that they were going to count that as an error, but one could only hope, right? So now a base runner here for the Academy Barons as Jack Burke steps up for the third time today, and he takes a look at strike one. Burke, a strikeout and a pop out to the catcher Nico Button today, 0 for 2. Rests the bat on his shoulders. Picks it up and swings and sends this one in the air on the right side. Comerford calling everyone off. Now it's Ardois who's got it. And there's the first out of the inning. So now it's the sixth hitter, Roberto Bueno, with a runner on first. That Andrew Kirshner single that broke up the no-no in a group effort from Logan Groff and Marco Cipolla. Bueno today, 0 for 1, popped out to the second baseman Ardois and then walked in the fourth inning. He was stranded at second base. That first pitch is taken for a strike. Bueno waves his shiny cherry gloves, pumps his right elbow. Here's a snapback from Button to first. It's not in time. So on the pitch, it was taken for ball one, and the attempt from Nico Button to get the runner out at first, and Kirshner was not there soon enough. 1 ball, 1 strike to Roberto Bueno, the CSU San Bernardino Coyote. Fastball, this one's hard to center field. Lewis is going back on it, and he will grab it for the second out of the inning. 90 miles an hour off the bat of Roberto Bueno, but it's not enough as Jariah Lewis can track it down for the second out of the inning. Raymond Jenkins now walked in the first, stole a bag, and then reached on error in the fourth inning. Jenkins, a Barstow, Community College Viking. Entering this game, 7 of 3. And his first pitch swinging on this fastball, which is sent out of play for strike one. He wipes his face with his bumblebee batting gloves and gets set in the box with his pink wristband. And Cipolla comes set from the stretch. Now fires on the 0-1 off speed in the dirt, taken for ball one on Raymond Jenkins. Jenkins digs in with his shiny white helmet. As Cipolla nods and sighs, now comes home. That one's in there for strike two. Another changeup there from Cipolla. He's been living at it. 81 miles an hour clip in the zone against these Barons hitters. Trying to cut into this 5-0 deficit against the Blues here in the bottom of the sixth. Short lead at first from Kirshner. As here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike three. So the Barons strand a runner at first base off the leadoff single from Andrew Kirshner. It's a 5-0 ball game as we head into the seventh inning. SLO Blues up on the SLO Blues streaming network. New right-hander in for the Academy Barons. It's Aaron Rosales. He's in to relieve Dante Zamudio. His day is done after 6 innings of work. He allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts to the Blues offense. And so now in to replace him, the Santa Ana Dawn, who has pitched in 1 inning so far this summer with 2 strikeouts. Just that 1 inning relief, and he's getting another one here against San Luis Obispo. Leading things off for the Blues, it's Bradley Navarro, the leadoff hitter, as he swings and fouls that fastball, and he's limping badly around the batter's box. Not sure if he fouled it off his foot or if it was some awkward torquing over there from Navarro, but he's still limping pretty badly, smiling as Dean Traynor hobbles out to help him out. And he's caressing that left knee, and the trainer for the Barons heads on out there. And Navarro fouled that one, and I couldn't tell if it hit his back knee or if he just kind of tweaked it on that swing, as he still struggles to stand up here. A leadoff batter from Michigan, who's 0 for 3 on the day, and he rests on his bat with his right arm. Still hobbling around as Dean Traynor surveys his dugout for a potential pinch hitter. Navarro rotates his knee and gives the thumbs up as he hobbles back into the box. Dean Traynor chuckles as he heads back into the dugout. An ovation here from the Blues fans as Bradley Navarro, the switch hitter, will tough out this at-bat against the new right-hander, Aaron Rosales. So Rosales has seen limited action so far this season as a Baron. And that was the same case here this last season with the Dons, where he only pitched 6 2/3 innings. And he skips this one in front of Navarro for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to the switch hitter from Michigan. 6 2/3 innings at Santa Ana College for Rosales. 4 strikeouts in that time, 2 walks, 10 earned runs for a 13.5 ERA. 1-1 offering from Rosales. Here it comes. And Navarro chops this one down the first base line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. SLO Blues up big over the Academy Barons 5-0 off a Gio Blanchette 3-run home run in the 6th inning. It had been a quiet affair up until that point. The Blues scratched across a run in the 2nd and then one in the 5th, and then put up their first crooked number in the 6th. Off speed, chopped right in front of home plate. Coming in on it is Lina. Scoops it and flips it over to the first for the first out of the inning. And you can't help but think if the knee of Bradley Navarro was 100% healthy, he might have had a better chance of beating that toss out, as it was very softly hit. And Lina had a lot of ground to cover, and he was able to just flip it over for the first out. So now it's Braden Jeffries, one of the 2 Blues to hit a home run this evening. The only other Blue to do so this entire season, as the fastball at 88 miles an hour is taken for a strike from Braden Jeffries. 1 for 3 on the day. That home run, as I mentioned, in the 5th. A single in the 1st off the first pitch he saw in a Blues uniform. And a fielder's choice in the 3rd. 0-1 is flared down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It's foul. Awfully close. And some players in the Blues dugout don't agree, as they think that one might have kicked up some chalk. The classic ball hit down the left field line off the left-handed batter. It's going to be a flare almost every single time. Wasn't hit all that hard, and that just adds to the flare effect. Only 83 miles an hour coming off the bat. And so now Braden Jeffries is 0-2 against Aaron Rosales. Jeffries twitches in the box, tucks his hands behind his left elbow, and it skips right in front of him for ball 1. One ball and 2 strikes as Rosales paces the mound and digs into it. A bright red glove resting upon his left hip. Jeffries' bleach blonde hair awaits in the left-handed batter's box. 1-2, hit on the ground left side and off the glove of Bueno at third base. Braden Jeffries reaches on an error off a misplaced ball from Bueno over at third. That's the second error of the game for the Academy Barons. So now with one out, after Bradley Navarro was retired on the grounder to second base, it's Jariah Lewis, the left-handed hitting center fielder from San Jose State. Lewis got his third base hit of the day back in the third inning. Before that, he grounded into a double play and popped out to the third baseman. And he takes a look at that fastball at 86 for ball one. Jariah in a 1-0 count, the former USC Trojan and current San Jose Spartan, awaits the offering from Rosales. 1-0. Fastball at 87 in there for a strike. 1-1 to Jariah, rocking the royal blue cleats, batting gloves, oven mitt, shin guard. He's got it all. Swag pack on deck. Speaking of on deck, Braden Mondew waits on deck as Jariah Lewis fouls this one out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lewis. Mondew on deck for the Blues. Then it's Nico Button right behind him. 3 hits in between those 2 hitters, a part of the 8 that San Luis Obispo has put up today. Medium lead at first base from Jeffries. As Rosales kicks and fires, Lewis squibs it back into the padding behind home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes still to Jariah. One out, 1 runner on. Blues up 5-0 over the Academy Barons. As they sit tied for third place in the CCL North, the Barons sit at second place behind Arroyo Seco. Here's the 1-2. Fastball missing in the dirt. Good lead from Lewis. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The all-league recipient at Encinal High School on the 2-2. Chops this one to the right side. That's through for a base hit. Jeffries holds up at second base, and Jariah Lewis has his second knock of the day. Good job by Lewis from spoiling off all those pitches, taking when he needed to, and then eventually it all paying off with that chopped single through the 4-hole to keep things going here in the 7th. So now runners on first and second to a guy who's been doing an ample amount of damage this season. It's Braden Mondew, who entered this game with a .345 batting average. It's his second highest on the team. He's also second in the team in RBI, with an opportunity here with a runner in scoring position. First pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Clipping the inside part of the zone, 0-1 to Mondew. Mondew reunited with his original lumber as he accidentally let go of it over the Barons' dugout back in the 3rd inning. Here he is on the 0-1. Breaking ball, skipping in the dirt, and advancing a base each is Jariah Lewis and Braden Jeffries. Ball that got away. Now runners at second and third for Braden Mondew. And Ocampo couldn't find it for not even a second, and it was enough time for the runners to read it and advance the base up. That's excellent base running there from Jeffries and Lewis, with the infield now playing in with 1 out and 2 runners on. Here's the 1-1. Missing inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to the BYU shortstop who entered the transfer portal just 2 weeks ago. Nico Button awaits on deck. Brendan Comerford right behind him. Long hold from Rosales as he comes on the 2-1. Mondew squibs this one into the ground. Coming in on it is Bueno. Throw over to first in time. Runners stay at their bases. Now 2 gone and 2 runners on for the Blues. Good job from Bueno on taking his time to retrieve that ball. He's already had an error this inning against Braden Jeffries, so he did a nice job of erasing that from his memory, hitting a reset and making the play over to first base for the second out. Mondew is retired for the third time today, as now Nico Button, with 2 knocks in this afternoon, steps up. Hits this one on the right side. Lena trots over to it. Throw to first is offline. Run comes in to score. It's Jeffries, and now Jariah Lewis comes in off another error for the Academy Barons this inning, and the errant throw from Lena. Nico Button reaches base safely for the third time today, as that one got away from Lena. And now the script has flipped. It's been what has plagued the Blues this season, the error, if you will. And now looks like the Academy Barons have the bug now. Now it's Brendan Comerford, who scorched a double last time he was up, and he takes a look at strike 1. Still 2 outs here in the inning. The error that awarded Jeffries first base, eventually he came around to score, and then Jariah Lewis on the single came around to score on an error from Lena at second. It's now a 7-0 game in favor of the Blues. Comerford, that double last inning was his first hit of the day. He's 1 for 3, also grounded out and popped out to short. And here he is on the 0-2. Chops this one foul down the third base line. We'll do it again at 2 strikes. Comerford awarded his 5th double this season and his 6th extra base hits in 8 hits. As here he is on the 0-2, and taken off for second base was Button, but there's a drop third strike. Throw over to first is in time to retire Brendan Comerford. So Comerford strikes out for the first time today, and the Blues strand a runner at first base, but not before Jariah Lewis and Braden Jeffries come home on the error from Lena at second base. It's 7-0 Blues on the Slow Blues streaming network.
Blues lead 7-0.
New pitcher in for the Blues, it's Jack Sand, making his San Luis Obispo debut here. After spending a season with the Huskies at the University of Washington, he's in to relieve Marco Cipolla, who went 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Fastball missing inside to Deuce Robinson. He struck out twice today, 1 swinging and 1 looking. And for Jack Sand, he enters his sophomore season as an Aliso Viejo native up in Seattle. The 1-0 is chopped on the right side. Ardois got it. Throw on the run is in time to retire Deuce Robinson for the 3rd time today. Softly hit grounder off the hands from Robinson, and Jack Sand induces the soft contact for the first out of the inning. More on Sand. He was ranked the 15th left-handed pitcher in California by Perfect Game. He played at Korean Lutheran High School in his prep days, where he earned first-team All-League honors and earned Player of the Year. He also participated in the Orange County All-Star Game. As that fastball is in there for strike. So Sand, in his first season with the Huskies, pitched an 8 2/3 for a 5.19 ERA. Off-speed pitch missing down on the plate for ball 1. 13 Ks in 8.2 innings, 8 2/3 innings, allowing 7 walks and 5 earned runs. He's a strike thrower as he hides his face in his red glove, shrugs his shoulders, and comes from the windup. On the 1-1. Hit softly into shallow center. Jariah Lewis can't get there. There's a base hit from Isaac Ocampo, and his first in a Baron uniform. A 1-out base runner here for the Academy Barons as they look to cut into this 7-run deficit. And more importantly, try to get 1 run on the board as they trail the Blues 7-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sand working with a base runner for the first time in his outing. We're seeing him come from the stretch for the first time as he comes set at the belt with his right foot offset from his left. He looks over at first, now fires. Off speed in there for a strike to the leadoff batter, Evan Cornwell. Cornwell 0 for 3 on the day, a strikeout. Reached on air and a line out to short to start the game. 0-1 taken for strike 2. Middle infield playing at double play depth as Comerford holds on Ocampo at first, who's got a very small lead over there. As Sand comes home and he gets a swing and a miss for strike 3. And the ball gets away. Ocampo's thinking third, but he holds up at second base. So reaching first safely is Evan Cornwell off the drop third strike back there from Nico Button. And they'll actually call back Cornwell. Now there's 2 outs away. Zach Freeman, the 2-hole hitter for the Academy Barons tonight, is 0 for 2. That includes a hit by pitch where he was stranded at second base. So that's the first K for Jack Sand. As the first pitch to Freeman is taken for ball 1. So Ocampo advanced to second base. Home plate umpire said first was occupied to Cornwell. Now 2 outs here for Sand as he's down 1-0 to Freeman. There's a strike in there at 82 miles an hour from Jack Sand, the crafty left-hander from Aliso Viejo, California. 2 outs, a runner on second base for the Academy Barons as Zach Freeman wiggles his bat behind his neck. Sand comes home. Fastball in there for strike 2. Clips the outside corner as Sand strides back onto the rubber and gets set right away to face the Buckeye and Freeman. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big breath out from Sand, and the off speed is fouled back and out of play. We'll do it again at 1-2. Another interesting thing about Jack Sand, a tidbit. His parents won the silver medal at the 1998 World Figure Skating Championships. They also won 2 bronze medals as well. Would just absolutely love to see Sand out there on the ice. Have to see if he figure skates himself. Looking at second, now on the 1-2, set in the air to left. Ranging to his right or left is Navarro, and he gets it on the run for the 3rd out of the inning. So in Jack Sand's first inning of relief for San Luis Obispo, he strands a runner at second base after making Zach Freeman fly out to Navarro in left. It's still a 7-0 ball game entering the 8th inning. Blues up big. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom of the order for San Luis Obispo, Taylor Holder, Gio Blanchette, and Sam Ardois with a 7-0 lead over the Academy Barons entering the top half of the 8th inning. Aaron Rosales heads back out there for his 2nd inning of work after coming in to relieve Dante Zamudio, tonight's starter for the Academy Barons. As first pitch swinging and fouling this one up and out of play is Taylor Holder for strike 1. Jake Sand for San Luis Obispo just came in to relief his first time this summer with the Blues. Got a grounder to second, strikeout swinging, and a fly out to left to strand a runner at second base in Isaac Ocampo, who got his first base hit with the Barons that last at bat. Off speed, swung on and missed is Taylor Holder for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Holder, who has already struck out looking today in the 4th inning. Did have an RBI single to get things going in the 2nd. Advanced to second base on the throw. Here's Rosales on the 0-2 to Holder. Off speed, bouncing in front of Taylor for ball 1. 1-2 to the Reno outfielder. Corvallis, Oregon native. Holder was awarded all Mountain West second team this season after raking up there in the mountains. And he stands in at 1 ball and 2 strikes against Aaron Rosales. Fastball goes upstairs for strike 3. There's the 2nd K of the day for Taylor Holder and the first out of the inning for the Barons. So one away now to Gio Blanchette, who had his second home run of the year in the 6th inning. A monster blast out to left. And went 340 feet. First pitch bender in there for strike one. Blanchette 1 for 3 on the day. Aside from that home run, a grounder to short and a fly out to right. Rosales sails it over the head of Blanchette. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Fresno City College outfielder. With that bomb to left field, he ties Jariah Lewis for leading the Blues in home runs from last year. Lewis led the team with 2, and Blanchette has already matched those numbers here in Game 12 of the season. 1-1, curveball, skips in front of Ocampo and lands in the on-deck circle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gio Blanchette as another arm gets loose in the Academy Barons bullpen. From the stretch, here's Aaron Rosales. Breaking ball, missing upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike to Blanchette. Gio playing for his 3rd season with the Blues. And last year he was one of the two to represent the Blues in the CCL Showcase as he takes ball 4 here. 1 out base runner for San Luis Obispo after the walk from Gio Blanchette reaches base safely for the 2nd time today. So now it's Sam Ardois in search of his first base hit of the day. He struck out swinging twice and walked back in the 1st. Entered this game 4 of 12 with 2 doubles and 2 runs batted in. Committed to Louisiana Lafayette yesterday morning. First pitch is missing downstairs, and the throw back to first is not in time to get Blanchette. 1-0 to Ardois. So Ardois, after spending his first year of college in Austin, Texas, comes back home in his state of Louisiana, where Perfect Game ranked him one of the highest ranked infielders of his class. As that fastball gets by him, 1 ball and 1 strike to Ardois. Seen a lot of action tonight at second base. A lot of grounders, a lot of pop-ups from the bats of the Barons. 1-1. Off speed, missing downstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike to Sam Ardois. Runner on first after Blanchette walked. And the out coming from a leadoff strikeout from Taylor Holder. 2-1. Fastball taken for strike 2. Waiting on deck is Bradley Navarro. He's 0 for 4 on the day in his 2nd start with the Blues. Medium lead from Blanchette over there at first base. Blues up 7-0 over the Barons. 2-2. Breaking ball, missing just above the zone. Fills it up, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Sam Ardois. He waves the ash-colored bat in front of his face and now gets set. He twitches his hands next to his right ear. Payoff pitch, swings and hits this one hard to left field. Moving back on it is Jenkins, and he grabs it on the move. Blanchette has to hustle back to first base as he thought that one was going to fall for sure. And I think Ardois did so as well as he grabs the top of his helmet with 2 hands. And there's now 2 away here with the leadoff batter Bradley Navarro stepping in. A fly out to left. Now the umpire getting some new baseballs behind home plate. And Navarro, who was hobbling around the batter's circle, seems to be doing okay now. He was nursing a left knee after fouling a first pitch fastball. Couldn't tell if it went off of his knee or if he twisted it in an awkward way on the swing. Either way, he looks to be doing okay now. Later that at bat, he grounded over to second base as they throw over to first. And they thought that Blanchett overran the bag at second and then didn't come back around to touch it again. They tried to get him out there. And the manager for the Barons will have a talk with the field umpire to discuss. Bradley Navarro patiently waits in the batter's circle. As the glove comes off the hand of Rosales, he rests it underneath his right arm. As the Barons manager idles on the infield grass in this 7-0 ball game in favor of the Blues. Barons only have 2 hits on the night, no runs to show for it. They've committed 2 errors. The Blues have committed 3. The Blues also have 9 hits on the night. And it looks like the conversation will end here. Manager for the Barons hobbles back into the dugout reluctantly as now all the umpires come together to hash it out and try to get to the bottom of this situation. So that ball hit to left field from Sam Ardois was hit very hard. First of all, I want to say that. 90 miles an hour off the bat. And Jenkins made a nice running grab on it. Blanchett was just taken off. There's 1 out. And typically with 1 out, you're shuffle. You're reading it to see where the ball's going to land. And obviously it was caught. Blanchett tapped second base and then went back to first safely. And I think they're trying to say that he touched second and then didn't retouch it on the way back. And the verdict is that Blanchett will be safe. And now the manager for the Barons heads back out there to fight his case. And from my perspective, it didn't look like Blanchett rounded the bag at all. He just tapped it with his foot, which is legal. And he just scampered back to first base and plenty of time to be safe. So the Barons manager retreats into the dugout. And now Bradley Navarro will get to work here as he awaits the first offering from Aaron Rosales. It's the second time he's faced Rosales today. His other 3 at-bats were against Dante Zamudio, starter for the Barons tonight. As this one's hit right in front of home plate and foul. Strike 1 to Bradley Navarro. Switch hitter batting left-handed against the second right-hander that the Blues have seen today out of the bullpen from the academy. 0-1 to the Michigan Wolverine. Off speed, bouncing in front of home plate. Nice stop there from Ocampo behind the dish. 1 ball and 1 strike to Navarro. Navarro, a native of Huntington Beach, not too far here from the field at Compton. And he won the National High School Invitational, also won Division I CIF State Championship in the Sunset League. Hits this one hard down the right field line, but foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Huntington Beach native. Also earned the 2022 Sunset League All-Academic First-Team Honors in his senior season in high school. And fast forward to now, he enters his sophomore year at Ann Arbor as an outfielder. Rosales from the stretch again, takes his time, now comes home on the 1-2. Fastball blew it by him for strike 3. So a K to Braden Navarro ends the inning, and it strands the runner in Blanchett at first. We head into the bottom of the 8th, 7-0 Blues. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. Jack Sand heads back out there again, the UW Husky and left-handed relief pitcher for the San Luis Obispo Blues. As now would be a good time to remind you that this half inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. You can find them at sdgarchitects.com. Studio Design Group Architects. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. 3-4-5 for the Academy Barons as they trail 7 runs to the SLO Blues, who went quietly last inning. Lena pops this one up and out of play for strike 1 against Jack Sand. Bottom 8 here at the MLB Youth Academy in Compton, California, for the 3rd conference matchup for the Blues this season. Currently 1-1 in conference play. That's good enough to have them tied for 3rd place in the CCL North, as that one hit Lena. Slow to get up as he's favoring that right leg after getting clipped in the left knee. Is Dylan Lena as he trots over to first base. Lena still tending to that leg as he smiles in front of his first base coach. He appears to be okay. And so now that gives way to the 4-hitter in Andrew Kirshner, the first baseman, who's 1 for 3 today for the Academy Barons. Had a single back in the 6th inning. His first base hit of the day. Flew out to left and struck out looking in the first. Fastball taken for ball 1 from Jack Sand. Sand offset coming set, now comes home. That fastball's taken outside again for ball 2. Kirshner, a UNLV Rebel who redshirted his last season as a sophomore. He did play in his first year though. Only played in 3 games where he was 1 for 6 with an RBI. He swings and misses at that fastball for strike 1 on the 2-0 count. It was the Gar High School 2022 Player of the Year, his senior season. And he's up 2-1 against Jack Sand. Sand looks over at first. The lefty has a nice view over there at Lena, and he picks over. Lena is back in time, even though Comerford swiped the frizzy hair flowing out of Lena's helmet. 2 balls and 1 strike to Andrew Kirshner, the wiry first baseman and UNLV Rebel. Fastball just missing outside. Now 3 balls and 1 strike to Kirshner. Native of Lakewood, California, entering his redshirt sophomore season in Vegas. Left-handed hitter, throws with his right. 3-1, swung on and missed for strike 2. And Jack Sand going heavy, heavy, heavy with the fastball. He doesn't blow batters away with the speed. He's living around the low to mid 80s. It's really the location where he gets the batters, the crafty lefty from Southern California. Payoff pitch to Kirshner. Fastball taken for strike 3. There's a strikeout from Jack Sand and the first of his Blues career, as there's now 1 out in the inning with a runner on first and Dylan Lena. So now, meeting here with Dean Traynor and the rest of his infield as he hobbles out to talk to Jack Sand. And a new arm in for San Luis Obispo. After notching that K, Jack Sand gives fist bumps all around the infield, and we'll see a new pitcher here in the bottom of the 8th. SLO Blues up 8-0 over the Academy Barons. Stay with us. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher in for the SLO Blues. It's Sammy Friedrich in to relieve Jack Sand, who relieved for the Blues for the first time this season. And he gets the first out, or the second out of the inning from Jack Burke, the pop out to left field over to Bradley Navarro. Now 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. So now it's Roberto Bueno. He's 0 for 2 on the day. As coming out to talk to his pitcher is Nico Button. Jack Burke popped out to left for the second out of the inning, and Andrew Kirshner struck out swinging to Jack Sand for the first out. And there's a runner on first after Dylan Lena was hit by a pitch in his left knee. And he's been at first base ever since. Now it's the third baseman batting in the 6th hole, trying to correct that here as the Barons trails 7-0. And the fastball's in there for a strike. Another arm getting loose in the Barons bullpen. As Friedrich comes home and leaves it downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Someone getting loose in the Blues bullpen as well. As Friedrich comes set, then comes home on the 1-1. Off speed, missing outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Roberto Bueno. Bueno had a lot of action over there at third base this game defensively. Had a hot shot from Braden Jeffries in the 7th inning that he botched off the inside part of his glove. This one's chopped over to Jeffries at third. Here's the play on the run, and that retires Roberto Bueno for the 3rd out of the inning. Nice play from Braden Jeffries. We'll head to the top of the 9th, 7-0 SLO Blues. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher in for the Academy Barons and to relieve Aaron Rosales. It's Grant Ferris. Rosales, the right-hander, went 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. And he gets a first pitch swing and a miss to Braden Jeffries. So it's Grant Ferris, the left-handed pitcher from Golden West Community College down the street here from Compton. And he's up 0-1 against Braden Jeffries, who had a home run back in the 5th and a single in the 1st. Nubbed on the left side. Bueno's got it, or he actually doesn't got it, goes underneath his glove. And not looking in was Jeffries as he runs through first base. And another error for Bueno over there at third. He's had a rough night over there at the hot corner. That's the second time in a row that Braden Jeffries has reached on first via an error from the third baseman in Bueno. Jariah Lewis takes a look at strike one. Lewis today, a 2-for-4 night. He's matched his hit total throughout the rest of the season. He entered this game 2 of 10. Came around to score a run back in the 7th after singling. As a throwback to first is not in time to get Braden Jeffries. No balls and 1 strike against Grant Ferris. Ferris with 12 strikeouts and 20 walks and 16 in the 3rd innings pitched at Golden West as he hits Jariah Lewis in the back. That's the 3rd hit by pitch to Jariah Lewis this season, and that leads the team. That hit him squarely in the spine as it took him a while to get over to first base. Had to collect himself for a second there. Seems to be okay, as it's now Braden Mondew, who has 1 base hit on the day, steps in for the Blues. No outs, runner on first and second after the new pitcher Grant Ferris came in. Fastball at 86 in there for strike 1 against Braden Mondew. And more on Ferris. There's 2 strikeouts and 16 in a 3rd innings pitch. It's also a part of a 7.16 ERA and a 1.84 whip for the rising sophomore with the Rustlers. Matrixing out of the way of that fastball for ball 1 is Braden Mondew. 2 ducks on the pond. They reach there on the free pass, an error from third and hit by pitch to Jariah Lewis. 4 errors now for the Academy Barons as Mondew skips his foot out of the way for ball 2. Bullpen empty for the Academy Barons now that Grant Ferris is in. First left-hander that the Blues have seen in quite some time. 2-1 to Mondew. Huge cut. Swing and miss for strike 2. Last time they saw a left-handed pitcher was back on June 9th against the Santa Maria Indians. Didn't see any against the Foresters yesterday. 2-2 to Braden Mondew. Second on the team in batting average heading into this game. As he pops this one right side, and it's out of play. Wynn pushes it out. Stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mondew. Shortstop formerly at BYU has since entered the transfer portal and is building his resume here in San Luis Obispo. Runners at first and second, both with a medium-sized lead. 2-2. Hit in the air. Right side, coming in on it is Burke and Freeman, and it will be Burke who comes up with it for the first out of the inning. Braden Mondew flies out to right field, and there's 1 away in the top of the 9th. So now it's Nico Button, the left-handed hitting catcher from Cal Berkeley, who's 2 for 4 on the night. He doubled in the 1st, came around to score, then a single in the 4th. Popped out to short and reached on error in the 7th, where he was stranded at first base. First pitch. Button fouls it off the catcher for strike 1. 7-0 Blues. New pitcher on the mound, and Grant Ferris. He comes in to relieve Aaron Rosales. Runners on first and second. Blues up big 7-0 over the Academy Barons in their third game of conference play. 0-1. Fastball yanked downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nico Button. 86 miles per hour from Grant Ferris. Silent night here in Compton, as the highway rumbles in the background. The 1-1 is spoiled. Out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nico Button. Button was the valedictorian at Sarah High School in 2021. Here's the 1-2. Off speed, just missing inside for ball 2. The Barons wanted that one bad. It was a good frame job from Ocampo as well. Good pitch from Ferris, but not enough to persuade the home plate umpire. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nico Button. Here's the 2-2. Fastball missing downstairs. That'll fill it up. Runners stay at their stations. Full count now to the Blues catcher. And would you believe it? I just said that Nico Button was the 2021 Sarah High School valedictorian. What if I told you that he's not the only valedictorian on this team? Max Lane, the outfielder from Harvard, also is a valedictorian from his high school. Payoff pitch. This one sent into right center field. Moving in on it is Freeman, and he'll get there. Both runners retreat to their bases off the nice range from Freeman in center field to retire Nico Button. 2 outs now after Button flies out. And now it's Brendan Comerford, the first baseman, who had an RBI double in the 6th. The valedictorian thing, if I had a nickel for every time there was a valedictorian on the team, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's funny that there's 2 of them. Fastball skipping the dirt, gets away. Runners at each base move up a station each. Now runners at second and third for Brendan Comerford. Comerford, who already has an RBI today off the double in the 6th inning, eventually came around to score. He's third on the team in RBIs with 8. Wants to get 9 and 10 here in a 1-0 count. Swing and miss for strike 1. Barrel was just too early on the 86-mile-an-hour fastball. He digs in now with his wide stance and quick motions of the hands towards home plate. Taylor Holder waits on deck here with 2 outs. As that fastball's in there for strike 2. Almost getting away from Grant Ferris as the throw back to him. But he's got it. Still runners at the corners here. Runners on second and third here for the Blues. 1-2 to Comerford, who hitches in his stance and watches that fastball miss upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Comerford from Ohlone College, where he just spent his first season up there. After committing to St. Mary's out of high school, he transferred to Ohlone. Off speed, missing outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. He certainly rose to the occasion out there in JUCO, hitting 12 doubles and 12 homers. 658 slugging and 155 at bats. Payoff pitch to Comerford. Swing and miss, strike 3. The Blues leave runners on second and third off the strikeout from Brendan Comerford, his 2nd strikeout today. And now we head into the bottom of the 9th inning as the last chance for the Academy Barons due up here in the bottom of the 9th. 7-0 Blues. I'm Nate Mills, heading into the bottom of the 9th on the SLO Blues streaming network. New arm for the Blues. It's Thomas Harper. He comes in to relieve Sammy Frederich and try to close the door here on the Academy Barons as San Luis Obispo is up 7-0 over the MLB Academy. And leading things off for Compton, it's the 7-8-9 hitters and Raymond Jenkins, Deuce Robinson, and Isaac Ocampo. The first pitch from Harper misses upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. 7-0 lead for the Blues as Harper stands in there from the windup. Face buried in his glove. Here he comes. Skipping in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes from Thomas Harper. The Blues last inning stranded 2 runners on. One who reached by an error from the third baseman Bueno. One who reached on a hit by pitch. Left at first and second after Brendan Comerford struck out. Braden Mondew flew out to right, and Nico Button flew out to center. 3 straight balls from Thomas Harper to Raymond Jenkins. There's 4 straight, and a leadoff base runner for the Academy Barons. Harper just finished up his sophomore year at Illinois State for the Redbirds. He appeared in 18 games and made 5 starts, was 5th on the team in strikeouts with 37, and was ranked 6th on the team with 41 2/3 innings pitched. He threw 5 innings with 4 strikeouts to earn the win against SIUE in the team's home opener last year with the Redbirds. He misses downstairs 5 straight balls in a row with a runner on first base in Raymond Jenkins. So it's Deuce Robinson now. He's 0 for 3 on the day, 2 strikeouts and a ground out to second base. Fastball at 90 miles an hour in there for strike 1. First strike of the day for Harper. Here's the 1-1 to Robinson. Hit on the left side and through for a base hit. That's going to move up Raymond Jenkins to second base and get Deuce Robinson his first base hit of the day. Runners on first and second in the bottom of the 9th for the Academy Barons. Ocampo 1 for 3 on the day, a single in the 7th. He struck out swinging in the 2nd and popped out to left in the 4th. And now he's here with 2 base runners and no one out, trailing 7 to the SLO Blues. First pitch swinging on the right side. Comerford bobbles it and flips it over to first. Nice job by Thomas Harper for getting there in time. 1 out now here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Runners on second and third for the Barons after Jenkins and Robinson moved up 1 station on the ground out to first from Ocampo. And we'll flip it to the top of the order for Evan Cornwell. Cornwell is 0 for 4 on the day with 2 strikeouts, an error, and a line out to short. This one skips in front of Nico Button. Nice job keeping that one in front. Thomas Harper was ranked the 14th overall right-handed pitcher in the state of Wisconsin and was the 40th overall prospect in that state with a 7 out of 10 perfect game ranking. 1-0 fastball sent on the right side. Comerford's got it, flips it over to first. There's the second out of the inning and the first run for the Academy Barons this evening off the RBI ground out from Evan Cornwell. So the Barons finally get on the board here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now it's the 2 hitters, Zach Freeman with 2 away here and 1 runner on third base. Still trailing by 6 runs to San Luis Obispo. Freeman looks at that fastball downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. – 7-1 ball game. Blues lead the Academy Barons in game 2 of a 5-game road trip. 1-0, chopped down the third base line. It's going to settle foul. as Comerford touches it. 1 ball and 1 strike to Zach Freeman. Freeman, a current Ohio State Buckeye and former University of San Francisco Don. Played 1 game as a Buckeye his sophomore season before he was injured for the rest of the year. Came back last year and hit a triple. His only hit, as that fastball's in there for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 gone here in the bottom of the 9th. Barons down to their last out as they trail by 6 to the Blues. And Thomas Harper in to relieve Sammy Fredrich. 1-2. This one's chopped right to Comerford, and he'll just take it himself, and that will end the ball game. So the SLO Blues dominate the Academy Barons 7-1 in Game 3 of CCL play. And really what I think was nice to see for the Blues tonight was that offense coming alive. We saw 2 home runs, and I sort of prefaced it in the pregame. I was watching batting practice. I was watching the way this field works, the type of balls we're using as well, looking at that flag out there in right field to see which way it was blowing. And I knew there was going to be a slugfest of some type here at the MLB Youth Academy Stadium in Compton, California. And we saw 2 separate guys hit home runs tonight. Giovanni Blanchette hit one to left field about 340 feet. And an absolute shot in right field from Braden Jeffries in his Blues debut. 380 feet down the right field line. Both of the corner outfielders, all they could do is just stand up and watch. But I think the sticks coming alive for the Blues right now is excellent timing as we start to gear up for CCL play. They've looked really good against 2 CCL teams, of which they were formerly in the CCL South with. Now the Blues have entered into the North. But this is nice practice heading into conference play, getting some wins. And now San Luis Obispo's got themselves a winning streak. They take the dub 7-1 against the Academy Barons, and it's a happy bus ride back home. They'll drive back to Santa Barbara on Friday night to play the Foresters again. Thank you for watching this live stream on the YouTube broadcast. My name is Nate Mills. Have a good night.